Hello there, how you doing? So talk about a few things that are actually going on and then get into the core of what people think is a huge secret. It's not really a big secret. People love to sensationalize things, and I know why they do it. It's like somebody loves a good spooky story around a campfire when they were in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or whatever. I was in the Boy Scouts. Hated it, actually. The Scoutmaster got lost. I was like, we're heading in the wrong direction. No, we're not. We're heading the wrong direction. He got lost for like 12 hours. Oh my goodness, that was at Camp Mcke. I'll never forget that one. I knew the Scoutmaster was wrong. It's like, we're heading in the wrong direction, Scoutmaster. By the way, I don't think you can actually see. Here we go. I cover up the bill number. This was for 75 acres I own up in eastern Kentucky. This is the property tax bill. Yeah, I know. We all think the same thing on property taxes. That's for 75 acres. Mineral rights, coal mine, road up the middle of it, has a creek on it. The tax bill on the 75 acres is $97.69. That's right, less than $100. People say, why do you like Kentucky so much? There's no perfect place, you know. I don't think anybody, even the people that can't stand me, think I'm an anti-intellectual. You know, this idea that, you know, Kentucky's full of a bunch of banjo-playing bumpkins or something. There are a few areas that are like that. It's not the case. I want to get on these secret societies. It's not really a big secret. Let me talk about a few things that are actually happening right now. A lot of people are either extremely happy or extremely sad that the Orange Man, you know, got selected. There were a lot of people actually watching for shenanigans at various places, and there was a lot of it in Pennsylvania. Reports are from Mr. O'Keefe Media Group. But by the way, I mentioned at the time in live stream and all over the place, a bit of an expert on Apple Inc., and I never liked Steve Jobs. When it came out, I told everybody in live stream and everywhere, I said, this virtual reality Apple Vision that they call it, they put a lot of money into developing it, a lot of money. I told everybody at the time this was going to be a total flop. A lot of people said, oh, look at the sales are so good. It's like, well, it just came out. You know, there are a lot of super Apple fanboys out there that'll buy anything Apple, you know, no matter what it is. It's just going to flop. And Apple did spend a ton of money developing it. Well, it's been discontinued. They're not even going to work on version 2. I can't even think of how many upteen millions of dollars Apple put into the development of that product, which is a total flop. And you could say, well, the economy is really bad. People don't have like 3,000, I think it was US dollars, 3,500 or something like that. But that was part of the reason, but it wasn't the most major part. And people were actually having serious eye issues and whatnot. I told everybody right after the results on November the 5th became apparent that the Orange Man got in, that gold and silver would drop substantially, and they did. I'm waiting. I don't have any money to buy it. Trying to save up money to take an actual vacation. That it should drop below sub $24 range. I could be wrong on that, but I said it would drop significantly because he got in, because the whole world, including people in the United States, were, you know, waiting for, you know, complete and total imminent totalitarianism to be voted in, and thank goodness it did not. I don't really think this is anything other than a speed bump in the road as far as the global plan, and the global plan is in full swing. Even that guy that looks like Dr. Evil, I mean, he wrote a book about it, that they're trying to reset everything. Crypto is way, way up. By the way, Spirit Airlines, I've never flown Spirit Airlines, just announced bankruptcy. Boeing is in super serious trouble. And the president-elect is not an actual president. We have, what, 67, 60, X number of days? Or is it 60 or 70 days? I forget what it is exactly, before he actually takes oath of office. But even he has no problem, I mean, no ability to absolutely right the economic disaster of the ship that we actually have going on right now, not only in the United States, but other countries, especially Germany and the UK, are experiencing serious issues. If I seem really tired, I was up to 5 a.m. doing leather work. I got 3 wallets over here underneath a super heavy weight, which presses them flat, and a bunch of python belts over there. And I just got done making this as a python neck wallet. The cord's too long, but I make it that way so people could actually make it to whatever length that they want. I just got done making this. I've made quite a few of these. They're actually really, really popular. You hang it around your neck, so you can't be pickpocketed. And very, very brilliant. Anytime I go somewhere, I actually wear mine. I just made this one a few hours ago. It's kind of beautiful, isn't it? I'm not trying to sell my wares here by showing that. Proud of having skills to make beautiful things that people want. Sometimes people actually send me pictures of them wearing or holding, their belt, or like here's a couple of shimmering cobra blanks from making cobra wallets, and that makes you proud. It gives people purpose. What gives me purpose is not leather goods. Leather goods actually help me pay the bills, and I do have several jobs: land investigation / flipping, what I'm doing right now, leather work, and a couple other things. And I do work 7 days a week, but it's fulfilling to know that you have skills. And, I'm really kind of very, very tapped out on my energy levels, and I'm trying very, very hard to take a vacation. We get on these secret groups here in just a second, and a lot of people have built up and aggrandized, the Illuminatus and the Masons here in the United States, and you could find it on the back of every dollar bill, and there's probably 10,000 videos on YouTube talking about the Masonry and the architectural layout of Washington, D.C., and we could go deep, deep down that rabbit hole. But it's absolutely not necessary. By the way, there's one video, and it's even, I looked for it, it's even on a movie, actually. It's even on YouTube, several different places. The whole 2.5 hours, I think it's 2.5 hours long. Everybody should see it. It's extremely illuminating. I highly recommend it. It's called Hidden Faith of the Founding Fathers. Let me repeat that again. You'd really, really like it. Very illuminating, logical, rational. No sensationalistic nonsense. I cannot stand stuff like that. People send me links to YouTube videos all the time. Oh my God, the poles are flipping. It's bedlam is about. I can't stand stuff like that. I can't stand it. It's a very rational movie. It's called Hidden Faith of the Founding Fathers. A lot of, and we all grew up, at least 99% of us, being told that Washington, Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, etc., etc. These were Christian founders of the United States of America. It's like, well, superficially, we can make that proclamation, but that's no different than a late friend of mine, Mcke Kumaraswamy, who joined the Catholic Church. I mean, he was a metaphysician and someone who's into Sophia Perennis. I don't know if you know what Sophia Perennis is. But he was not an actual Christian. It's like, well, if he wasn't a Christian, why did he join the Christian church? And it's for community relations and to normalize himself relative to society. He was actually a cardiac surgeon. He was the son of Anandit Kumaraswamy, a very, very prolific, super intelligent author. I highly recommend his books. He knew 27 languages, wrote countless books and articles, but the same is true of our founding fathers, just like Mcke Kumaraswamy. And you could actually watch this. I mean, a lot of people don't read a book. That's fine. Just see the free movie on YouTube called Hidden Faith of the Founding Fathers. They're based in not the Bible. They actually superficially agreed with the wise sayings, whatnot, of the Bible. But these people were not Christians. Washington was not. Neither was Benjamin Franklin. Neither was Thomas Jefferson. They were followers of Thomas Paine, who was urged to write one of several books, The Age of Reason, for example. Thomas Paine said, "My mind is my own church." I'm not actually a supporter of Thomas Paine, so I don't want you to think I'm actually, giving credence to that. And by the way, 2 videos ago, I got heinously raked over the coals by countless people when I said, and I was being truthful, that I did not vote, a week or week and a half ago. And it's true, I did not. And the reason why I didn't, it wasn't laziness or anything, is that Kentucky is very, very, very red. Now, Lexington, where I live, and Louisville is not, but Kentucky, I had no chance of influencing anything in Kentucky. It would have, it's just completely useless. This is Kentucky. This is not some sort of swing area like Pennsylvania or whatnot, so I had no chance of influencing anything. There is an intellectual hierarchy, and there's 4 different groups of, fundamentally originally only 3, but there's really only 4 people that are fighting for supremacy over either the United States specifically, but also 2 other countries. I'd like to get to this here in a second. But Franklin and Washington and Jefferson were not Christians. I mean, they were not. They were followers of Thomas Paine, and this intellectual hierarchy, that separated themselves out from monarchy and also, too, the religionists. They themselves, quite intelligent, but more importantly so, moderately wise, more than superficially wise, they looked upon, and rightly so, I mean, don't take offense, as, of religionists, as being of their day the intellectual bumpkins. And it's like, we cannot, confess faith in something that is irrational. Thomas Paine preached about this to no end. The Masons and the Illuminists were fundamentally, and this was founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, and Thomas Jefferson said that if he had actually established this belief system in the United States, it would have taken root very early on. That was Thomas Jefferson who said that. Adam Weishaupt was not a religionist, and he was not a Christian or a follower of any other faith. He established, just like Thomas Paine, an age of rationality and reason, and it's not that far off from our early French Enlightenment movement that separated itself out from the monarchy, but also, too, from what they considered to be, this is not me saying this, but what they concluded, as well as Jefferson and Washington, and especially Franklin, who was head of the Masonic order in Paris. We know all these guys were Masonists, but they wanted separation from the religionists and the monarchy. And of course, the Masonists and the Illuminists had 3 fundamental premises, but actually more than that: separation of church and state, limits on the controls of the powers of the states, limitation of same. That's why we have 3 branches of government. And of course, emancipation of women. All of these, of course, were antithetical to the fundamental state, and certainly so of the monarchy. But there is a 4th group, and we have the 4th group now, which are materialists/atomists. And all these people have a slice of the truth. So you have the 4, the original 3. The monarchy, we know why we don't like the monarchy. We have the movement towards Illuminism, and these people actually consider themselves and call themselves the Perfectibilists. There's a word I know you probably have not heard of, but you could type it in. It's called Perfectibilists. It's based upon the strive towards perfection, but of course there's no such thing as psychophysical perfection. By the way, the entire United States and the origins, which was in 1776, of the Illuminatus, comes from the Bavarian, which is the start of same, the Bavarian Illuminatus, founded by Adam Weishaupt. You think it's a lot older than that, but actually that's just not true. It's this age of reason and rationality, which is against the monarchy, but also, too, equally against who they considered intellectual bumpkins, those people with just blind faith. I believe it. Why do you believe in it? There's nothing rational in what you believe. I mean, you believe in completely irrational things, like, like the Immaculate Conception and miracles and on and on and on and on and on. And, well, I believe it because I do. It's like, well, that's just completely irrational. But these people, even though they had a certain sector of the truth, the original, anyway, Illuminatus and the Masons, and by the way, don't ever, ever call me a Mason. I've had countless people I have no respect for them whatsoever. Absolutely, no, well, 99.9% I have absolutely no respect for them. Please don't ever consider me that. There's something opposite of these three. Of course, we have the fourth now, which is the Atomists. It's a religion of scientism. And all these people have a slice of the truth, but ultimately they're blind. And anything that's popular, and this is a premise I've lived by and that I created decades ago, is nothing true is popular, nothing popular is true, that these people were right about the bumpkins of countless religions. The Perfectibilists, I know that's a word you're not familiar with, you could look it up, they just believe and strive towards perfection of many different spectra thereof, but of course there's no such thing as psychophysical perfection. But these people were not Christians. The Founding Fathers were not Christians. We don't have a cross on the back of the dollar bill or any other religious symbol. What we have is a pyramid with 1776 at the base of it in Roman numerals, which is the founding of Bavarian Illuminism, whose founder is Adam Weishaupt. There's very little distinction, there's actually basically no distinction between that of Thomas Paine and Adam Weishaupt, the founder of original Illuminism. But all these entities are corrupt. I don't follow or cleave towards any of them. The original order of the Bavarian Illuminatus, who was founded on the 1st of May, Первая Мая. Where have you heard of May Day before? Первая Мая in Russian, by the way, in 1776. We're actually being put under the yoke of a new type of normal, and a lot of people are getting adjusted to it very quickly, and I hear everybody talking about it, including today. And I'd like to go back, very briefly to, the secret society that founded the United States. And of course, there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of good behind it too. I mean, to rebel against monarchy is a good thing. To have an intellectual hierarchy from the premise of the Bavarian Illuminatus and that of the writings of Thomas Paine, such as The Age of Reason. And by the way, I recommend once again to watch that free movie, like 2.5 hours, called Hidden Faith of Our Founding Fathers. It's just quote, 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 fact, 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 quote, quote, quote. I love information like that. Founding Fathers of the United States was not founded on Judeo-Christian ideology. It was not. It was founded on Thomas Paine and the Bavarian Illuminatus. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. You ever hear that in school or college? Nope, sure didn't. Why not? Well, once again, on the back of the dollar bill, you've got the Masonic and the Bavarian Illuminism symbolism there and it all harkens to Thomas Paine. I've heard growing up my entire life, as well as you, the United States is Judeo-Christian based, was founded on Judeo-Christian. No, it was not. It's, talk about a lie repeated often enough becomes the truth, and yet it is still, of course, a lie. The new normal that we're encountering, I've been talking about this for years, but it seems to be growing. There apparently is a lot of hope on the horizon from various people, but, because there is a 4-year track record there between 2016 to 2020, when things weren't perfect, but, there were no conflicts going on with the United States, and the economy was good, and everybody was basically pretty happy, and that's what people are trying to get back to, and I understand that. There's also 270 days between now and that date in January. I hope nothing happens. I certainly do, but nobody that I know that has a rational mind that thinks is that possible. I could be wrong on that one. I have to be, if you're a truth seeker, to be open to, well, maybe it will happen. But I mean, they're looking at the long view. It's called Agenda 2030 for a reason. It's not called Agenda 2025 or 2026. We're looking at a new normal, unbelievable amounts of incompetence. Any home that's been built in the past 5 or 6 years shouldn't even be considered. Someone was asking me recently, well, when was it built? It was just built 2 years ago. Superficially it might look good, but, the level of incompetence that's out there is absolutely astronomical. Shoddy quality in all products, everybody's broke, horrific customer service, everybody can't afford groceries. We got a shaky banking system that's getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know if you've seen this or not. I've seen 6 videos on TikTok and other platforms where women, this is no joke, if I'm lying, I'm dying, you could go look this up, where women are instructing other women on teaching other women how to, if a guy, maybe their husband or somebody that they know voted for the orange man, how to take him out. And I'm not going to name the substance that they're talking about. I'm not, absolutely, I could do it, but I'm not going to. It's like, not only is that illegal, but these people are freely discussing this. Like, if the guy voted for orange man, this is how you're going to take care of him. By take care of him, I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. The level of insanity that's out there. The people, and I've been saying this for years, people living in a nutshell sniffing their own exhaust fumes is absolutely off the scale. It's like, deal with it and move on. Maybe you should actually have a as the saying goes, not literally, a come to Jesus moment where you realize that you don't really see the bigger picture of the United States. That people that love family and natural order and normalcy, whatever you think normalcy is. Like, well, what's normal? It's like there is such a thing as normal. That's working hard and enjoying your family and, wanting the best for your kids, not to be in conflicts and stressed out and worn out. And, that is normal. I'm sorry if you think there isn't a normal, but there is a normal. And most of America wants that type of normal, and they don't have it right now. And the people that just can't understand why things worked out the way they worked out on November the 6th or 5th, they've been sniffing their own exhaust fumes. They really, really, really don't understand what normal is. They have never been, if they saw normal, they wouldn't even know what it looks like. Well, I hate to tell you this, but there's a lot of people out there that do. And they want normal, and they want peace, and, not be able to afford Christmas gifts for their children. So, and there's just so many people are just so out of touch. It's just unbelievable. I couldn't believe those TikTok and other videos that I saw on that by these ladies talking about that. Unbelievable, but not shocking. I think commercial and residential real estate may come crashing down, some to whatever degree, but raw land is not moving at all. I recently got rid of a 10-acre farm I have in western Kentucky, and all I'm going to do is take those funds and flip it into some other land. But I've been looking hard, and I was up to 4 a.m. last night doing leather work, and then I was looking online for land and contacting various sources that I know on land. Asset diversification, regardless of November the 5th, is as vital now as it's ever been. Whatever hope you have or whatever, hurt feelings you have over November the 5th, nothing has changed about the collapsing banking system in the U.S. dollar. I mean, nothing at all. He's not going to stop economic collapse, old orange man there. Might be a lot of good things that happen, if 2016 to 2020 are a marker, but the cabal, unfortunately, has many different ways and tentacles for collapsing the United States. Him getting in doesn't change that, and he's not in yet. He is elect. He is not in yet, so I hope everything goes smoothly. I really do. By the way, my friends in Australia are telling me about, and I was watched a few videos on it, and it's rather disturbing, that they're installing a system and trying to pass a bill where everybody using the internet needs to confirm various aspects of themselves, including their age. I mean, it's true totalitarianism. This is very funny, by the way. CNN is axing a number of their top stars. MSNBC, their ratings literally after November the 5th fell off a cliff. Comcast is set to sell off, apparently so, MSNBC and or CNN. I find that quite interesting and highly laughable. The ratings are absolutely abysmal. Legacy media, I think everybody knows this, is completely dead. They've been lying and lying and lying and lying and been paid to lie by so many people that nobody listens to them anymore. Well, maybe some people walking around with two face diapers. As soon as I see them, it's like, oh, you're watching MSNBC, are you? How did you know that? You're wearing two face diapers. Outside, no less. Germany, by the way, and I'm part German. I've never been to Germany. I always wanted to go. Has been facing growing competition from China and a shortage of skilled workers, EU bureaucracy and regulation. Germany, a GDP per capita is now only 3,000 above that of the UK. And apparently there's a huge collapse going on economically in Germany. Germany is in serious trouble, and Reuters and others report, quote unquote, yeah, the average age is 51 years old, and things look extremely bleak for the German economy. I don't know what's going to happen there, but now that the UK is out, Germany can't support itself. I mean, it's just a deck of cards. It's kind of like the UN. People meet at the UN, but everybody looks after themselves. I mean, it's just really a collectivism that never accomplishes anything. The United Nations has accomplished extremely, basically next to nothing over the past X number of decades. The EU is kind of like a European UN, economic UN. Not really accomplishing anything, and they're all collectively pulling each other down a very deep pit. Now that's my consensus on the observable, demonstrable, objective facts of the EU. You could feel free to disagree with me. But I wanted to touch upon, and they're sensationalized really bad, the Masons and the Illuminatus. And they are the founders of the United States. The United States was not founded on Judeo-Christian ideals. I'm sorry. All the quotes from Jefferson and Washington and Franklin and others, based upon Thomas Paine and the Bavarian Illuminatists. But these are people that actually laud the human being as the greatest potential for perfection, but there's no polishing the poo that is the psychophysical. So while they have a certain, and the United States is quite unique among other countries and step away from the monarchy. And I hear a lot of Europeans complaining about the U.S. Instigating conflicts, and there's plenty of truth to that. But before the United States existed, I will point out to these Europeans that every corner of Europe before the United States existed has been at absolute conflict, kinetic and otherwise, with every other part of Europe since the dawn of time, long before the U.S. ever existed. It's like, being a bit hypocritical there, in a European country, or the EU at large. But these people are trying to control us, and I want to stand apart from any of these four sectors. Don't ever call me a Mason or a Illuminatist. I am certainly not so a religionist. I'm definitely not a materialist / atheist, and I certainly don't believe in the monarchy. And these are the four sectors that are trying to vie for totalitarian control of the world in whole or in part. And I want nothing to do with any of them. I follow natural order and rational metaphysics. Certainly so, consider myself a member, and it's not a group, by the way, a member of the idea in metaphysics and philosophy of Sophia Perennis. If you don't know what that is, you can go look up Sophia Perennis. I'll catch you in live stream. I hope you like these videos. I wanted to talk about the secret society that founded the United States, and it's not sensationalist at all, nor is it to me shocking, nor are they, these intimidating entities like we see in movies, because movies like to take little secrets and sensationalize them for, people getting scared and whatnot, and, for box office revenue. I get that. The truth is a whole lot more mundane. But check out that movie. It's a great one to watch. Like I said, it's free on YouTube out there. And if you want to contact me, my information is in the description below. Any donation is always warmly welcome. I'm sorry if I'm so tired. I've just done an enormous amount of leather work. And it's tough on my hands, and it's very brutal work. Thank you.